Are you ready? For real? You ready? Here we go. All right, welcome people back to you know who, your friendly neighborhood Muslim Taalib Abdur Rahim, brother Taalib show. Yeah, we here again, and we're gonna get it popping. We're gonna get it started. What's happening today again, as I did in my other videos prior to this one, I was speaking about the issues that are going on in the world in relation to economics and what's going on in the world, but preferably or preferably the focus is on Africa, because being that we as African diasporans, which are the people who descended from Africa and moved or was taken, due to the slave trade to other lands, and they reside there outside of Africa and outside of the African continent, whether they were descendants or actual people who left at a certain point in time in these times and just decided to settle in some of the other countries. So pretty much on the likes of that, I was utilizing a very good, well-spoken person. She's a entrepreneur. She's a person who actually has a training program, academy that she trains and consults in business to many, 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 many people. So her name is Dr. Harnet. I mentioned her name in the other videos. If you watch the other videos, which you should, from the first one, number 1 to 2, and now this is the third one, and possibly will be a fourth one. I think I'm gonna have to do a fourth one. So, matter of fact, this is the fourth one. Yeah, my bad, my mistake. Yeah, but we have to bring this, excuse me, bring this out. This stuff has got to come out, and we got to be knowledgeable of it. And where I left off at, Dr. Harnet, which we were listening to her video. They're speaking on basically part one, the big global reset, how to avoid business failure in Africa in 2021 and to go into the future, from what it's saying. So she's speaking on the part where there's two narratives, basically. That's where we left off from. And these two narratives, the people don't understand. Most of us throughout the world, let alone in America, which is the so-called world superpower, land of the free, land of opportunity, all that other type of foolishness. When I say foolishness, is not really what it's cracked up to be for everybody, if you know what I mean. So pretty much, what she's saying is really deep, and she goes into a major organization that is a global organization or platform, as they say, that and or platform on steroids, as she says. And you'll listen to her. So I'm gonna let you listen to her and hear what she's saying about them and these people that are actually speaking about one of the main narratives. And one of the narratives she first starts in is called Doomsday. And then the other narrative is the second narrative is the Great Reset. And we'll see. Let's listen in. Okay. All right.
Exist. One is doomsday. All right. So that is economists, financial experts, and also people who just did research like myself, and maybe they're putting content together, who are really saying prepare for the worst. There are a lot of people out there that are promoting, or maybe not promoting, that are that believe we really don't know how bad it will be. Prepare for the worst. Mm-hmm. And then the other narrative, which may be a little bit more optimistic, is the narrative of the Great Reset. And I know for some of you this is not new, because you have been doing your research too. but I believe that the majority of us is completely unaware. And it's my job today to spread that awareness. We do not hear in the news about the Great Reset. All we hear about is coronavirus. Now let's look into what the Great Reset means. And I want you to take a note of this, including you, dear ABBA family, our Africa Business Academy members, because the Great Reset will become a topic for us in ABBA and how we prepare our businesses and investments and ourselves in that context. Everything else would not make sense. We would be kidding ourselves. So, the Great Reset, dear Africa Business Jumpstarters, is actually existing. It is a term that comes from the World Economic Forum. I'm sure most of you...
Let me try to see if I can show you while she's speaking the picture. Maybe it'll blow it up for you. Inshallah. Hold on for a second.
You are really familiar for the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum is, if you want to call it that way, a platform, a think tank. Someone called it a think tank on stereo. I like that.
That's what it is.
Of global business leaders and world leaders, so leaders in politics. And the idea of the global reset, the Great Reset, is an idea that comes from the World Economic Forum, and it is an idea that they're already preparing for. And it's a shame that most of us do not know, and that the masses will find out when it's all over in the news. And when it's already too late for most people to prepare, because once it's in the news or more people will find out about it, guess what? Panic will set in. And therefore, it's important that we know about it now, as soon as possible. Now, the Great Reset, dear Africa Business Jumpstarters, is the kind of a brainchild of Mr. Klaus Schwab. And Klaus Schwab, I know how to say it in German, so I'm trying to say it with an English accent. So Mr. Klaus Schwab says the pandemic, corona.
Now, Klaus Schwab, I guess he's trying to say, or whatever, because he's German. He's not the Charles Schwab from the investment business company here in America. Big time tycoon and rich guy. No, this guy is rich too, but he's the lead person of the World Economical Forum, and he speaks on the pandemic, and they speak on the coronavirus as much as possible, but also the Great Reset. They bring that into the light in that platform, on that platform, and in that environment. Of these big time people. So that's again the reality of that. We do not know what's going on. Those of us who, well, for myself, only reason why I exclude myself, not to say act like I'm better than anyone, but I exclude myself as far as on a technical basis, that I basically know what's going on and I'm aware of it. But I don't exclude myself from the norm of everybody being, I'm struggling still too. I'm still of you. I'm still with you. I know what it is. I know what's going on. I know how you feel. But you don't have maybe at this time the knowledge, because you don't focus your time to learn. You might be the type of person who is regularly, repetitively just complaining about the situations that are going on. You may do that and know that there's some issues with our societies. Let's speak about America, but you're complacent. You're not, meaning that you're not really rising up and getting yourself out of your situation enough, because you're still doing the regular daily stuff, complaining, going to work, back and forth, paying your taxes. Of course, you're going to do that because you don't want to go to jail, get penalized, or what have you, get garnished in your wages and whatever, or your check or your bank account, frozen, because this is what they can do. Or go to jail. You're trying to be a law-abiding person, so you're not in the streets anymore. If you was in the streets, and not everybody grew up like that. You know what I'm saying? So you're a regular person trying to do and trying to live and survive daily, check to check. That's the life. But you're really not taking heed is the thing. Taking heed to what's going on and preparing yourself, positioning yourself financially first, because what you do financially is gonna change make things happen differently in your life. You know what I'm saying? If you don't do anything, nothing's gonna happen in your life much, really. You're gonna go through the same stuff and you'll be poor and you'll be struggling harder for you because you're not making any money. You're not gaining any wealth. You're not building wealth. And that's the main thing. That's where she's getting at. You understand what I'm saying? Being a business person is the best way to build your wealth. Working for somebody is not the best way to build your wealth. You have to do it. Some of us have to do. Even me, I still work a job, but I'm trying to make other maneuvers and have other streams of income and have myself positioned to build wealth other than working for a job and just paying my bills. And sometimes just making it in a landslide of paying bills. You understand what I'm saying? But the struggle that's coming is what they're talking about is going to get it even harder than what people are, actually experiencing right now. And this is what they're saying. Are you prepared? Are you ready? Because they're talking. The big people are talking. You don't see, you don't know, you don't hear. You know what I'm saying? And if you do, you're complaining. You're not being one who takes heed to and make action. Be proactive. Not you know do it after the fact, post active, if you want to say, or try to do something after the fact, and then it's too late. Nah, so we got to stop being like that. But let's listen up.
Represents a rare but narrow window of opportunity to reflect, reimagine, and reset our world. Now, he is really the one who came up with the idea of the Great Reset.
Klaus Schwab.
And the Great Reset is an idea that he had for a few years. And it was already circling in the World Economic Forum for a few years. Klaus Schwab wrote a book called The Great Reset. And he wrote that book in 2017, long before we knew about the pandemic.
Okay.
In the New World, he says, it is not the big fish which eats the small fish. It's the fast fish which eats the slow fish. Sounds good. Go live. Let's see.
Sorry, that was just a quick error. I pressed the wrong button, but that's deep, right? The big fish. It's not like what they say from yesterday that the big fish eats the small fish. I mean, that's what it used to be. Okay, that the big boss or the big people in play and whatever, they was just eating the small fish. Taking, pouncing down and oppressing the smaller person. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily like that anymore. Now it's the fast fish, meaning you are ready and you ready to run and get it going, get it popping, and not playing no games, not sitting back, just literally playing games. Because this is what's happening with a lot of people due to the pandemic anyway. People in their homes, they playing games, literally playing games in computers, they're or on their phones, letting time go by. And they're watching movies after movies after movies, Netflix and this and that and all these other different types of stuff. Basketball games, the football game, and that time's going by. It's okay. I understand. Me, myself, I'm one of leisure. But I went away from the yesterday's leisure time spent to it's a minimum amount of time spent for me for leisure. And it's why, because I'm trying to put myself in a position that I'm going to be ready, that I'm ready and I'm able to deal with. Let me tell you something. One later the past day, yesterday, and this happens off and on every now and then, especially when it's bad inclement weather over here in North Carolina where I reside. And power went out. And you know what I'm saying? And I had to, be concerned about that because I got family. I got my wife, I got my kids, I got family I got to be concerned about. So I'm making sure, like, okay, how are we going to do this? How long is going to be on? And I'm praying, making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to ask him that it doesn't be too long because I don't have anything to back myself up as far as if food goes to waste because the freezer don't come back on for all that time and it can't keep the food frozen as well as the refrigerated food in the regular refrigerator, and not having any enough energy to use my devices that we use daily all the time. So electric shuts down, and that those all of those things go. Even our heating system, it got cold up in the place because the heating system wasn't working. So alhamdulillah, I had the heater that we bought, and you could put propane in it. But we didn't have to do that. We didn't have to use that. It didn't drop down that low. But imagine if it was Allahu Alam. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much it was like waking up, another reminder, actually not a wake up call because I already woke up. It's just my situation is a financial struggle of taking out my money and saying, okay, let me buy, what do they call them? Power banks. Because I'm into the solar power industry. I'm trying to get there for my own as another form of wealth gain and building as a business. But of course, it takes money, it takes time to get these things done. So especially when you start up a business. So basically, make the story short, I realized that I have to be serious. I have to be proactive. I have to be active before that should have even happened. I should have been active before it should have happened. I had a time when I had money and I should have sacrificed harder than what I thought I said I was going to do. I wanted to and I verbally spoke about it, but I didn't do it. I didn't take my money and buy that. So that if this happened, boom, I'm ready. And this is the point I'm making. Are you prepared? Are you ready for what's going on? Are you positioning yourself? Are you taking care of your family, putting yourself in a position where you know what you got to have for if stuff goes down? Now, I know doomsday prepper conspiracy theory. No, it ain't no doomsday prepper conspiracy theory. It's the real. It's for real because people have planned for this to happen. And this is what she's talking about. This is where she's coming from. 2017, this guy was dropping it and they were talking about it and stuff came to be. That was before the pandemic. 2017 is how many years before the pandemic? 2 years. So, I mean, subhanAllah, we are really dealing with what they already knew. And they may have not stated it, but also there's more knowledge about this stuff because there, as I also learned before this actually speaking, when she was speaking about this, that Bill Gates and his foundation had these what do they call? I think it was 2015 preliminary or like faked out, rehearsed what's the name, like a scenario if a pandemic actually came. Check that out. You can Google that. You can find out. You can actually hear them in their forum doing it and preparing for it and speaking about it. The game is not a game. The game is going to be inflamed and going to keep going. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, we got to wake up. Wake up. If you're not woken, then wake up. But if you're woken, get up out of the bed and stop trying to stay asleep. Just stop trying to be, and then you're like, oh, leave me alone right now. I'm not ready. That's how you be doing when people come to you and tell you stuff like this. I'm not okay, yeah, and then you holler when you want to holler and have a problem and angry at president, the presidents, because everyone they still the same. The administration is still, it doesn't matter. Republican, Democrat, Now the new ones, what is it? Not liberals. They're just part of the people who push for certain things to get done. What is what they call them? Independents. You know, like you have with can't remember the guy who was he was running as a independent for the presidency. Anyway, y'all know who it is. But pretty much to get back to the point, let it go because we're 20 minutes in, and I'm gonna probably do another 10 minutes with this video. Let's listen more to what she's saying and what is being mentioned about these people.
So what we want to understand here is that yes, it may have been the brainchild of one man, but it has now become the framework for the most powerful people on this planet. Mr. Schwab also says globalization 4.0 has only just begun, but we are already vastly underprepared for it. And welcome to the fourth industrial revolution with a new social construct. So what Mr. Schwab is also saying, and the reason why I'm making him such a key figure is because he is the founder and the CEO, I forgot to say that, I think, the founder and the CEO of the World Economic Forum. So he's the one calling everyone together. They're basically meeting under his roof and have been doing so for the last 50 years.
50 years.
Now, Mr. Schwab also says that we are now starting a fourth industrial revolution, which will have a new social construct. He says, and listen to this, dear Africa Business Jumpstarters, that those of us who believe that the pandemic will be over soon and we will look forward to go back to our old beautiful life.
No.
He says that is, quote, a fiction.
Remember that song? This is the end of the world as we know it. That was in one of those shows that a lot of people sat back and time going by and wasting their time watching. And it's sad. Sorry, I had to drink. You know, gotta wet this whistle, keep it wet. You know about the pandemic, right? COVID. You know, yeah. So pretty much, it's sad that a lot of people don't know what's going on, but we will come to know. Let's go on, move on to the next.
He says, quote, that is a fiction. And we're actually, in his own words, quote, at a crossroad of humankind. And what I want to do is, I want to quickly let you know the 4 key aspects of the new world order.
Check that.
That is to be formed in the framework
this
of a great
gets
reset.
Crazy.
And again,
I'm telling you, this part gets real juicy because she's going in. I mean, other people have spoke about it, but when you hear it, it's like it's solidifying itself. It's solidifying in your brain, and then eventually what goes into your heart is that, wow, I really have to do something, because amal of the heart, action of the heart, and the limbs is part of your real being as a faithful person and believing in Allah, because Allah did not create us to not be active people. That's why we have fingers, why we have movable eyes and movable body parts. You know what I mean? While people can dance all over and make money off of dancing, which that's not from Islam, but these are the abilities he gave us as athletes, making big money. off of the movements of their body. They're being active. We have to be proactive. We have to be ones who get involved and stop all, yeah, nah, man, yo, they making this much, and and everybody's getting this, and what the heck they doing over there at the Capitol is crazy, a bunch of white crap. No, stuff. I don't want to get into that, speaking, but I'm just saying these the talks. See, they got what they get. They get what they got, or they deserve it. Nah, nobody deserves to be hurting and harm and struggling and suffering. No one. Or going crazy out of their minds and doing stuff like this. A person who's been dominating the earth for a long time has had a mental issue for a long time, and it was passed down through generations when they was in their struggle, hardship struggle in cold climate, could not barely get. And then when they got out of there and got to learn about how the world is, and it's open and it's wide and it's vast, they went crazy, just like some of us in the hoods. We restricted. We don't have this. We don't have that. So when you get something, it's all about material. Mostly, it's not about being proactive in the sense that you're benefiting yourself and positioning yourself. Like I was reading an article or actually watching a video. Actually, it was a post in the Facebook, and it was talking about. I think one of my brothers did it and posted it. Was about like a rapper named Quavo compared to Jeff Bezos, who is the CEO of Amazon. And Quavo, he's a rapper. I think he's with Migos or something. Well, I don't know. He's one of them young new school rappers, from the South, I think. But anyway, they were comparing how they utilize their money, and it's well known. They compared Quavo as being rich with Jeff Bezos being wealthy. And what's the comparison? What's the difference in that? When you're rich, you got money, you can live as best as you can to the best of your ability with with the type of money you have to do what you really want to do. But when you're wealthy, you have long money. You have long money. That means it goes into generation after generation. That's how far you building your wealth. You're not just playing with, I want to be like this and act like this and be on stages with, racks in your mouth. Even me, like, why would I do that? And some dude want to try to rob me for my rack. You want to, take that out. Let me get that, because we had caps back in the day. It wasn't no straight implanted gold or piece or platinum. That stuff is crazy what these guys are doing. But it is what it is. That's what they choose. That's their life. That's that life. Whether it's stage life or real street life, like real McCoys out there. No, that's their life, to be on the stage for those people. So especially with the rappers, unfortunately today that's more prevalent than being like, like I grew up with, because I grew up with that image, that industry, and that life and that subculture, which I left, of course. I don't need it. I have a full complete life called Islam, alhamdulillah, and may Allah guide the rest of you, those of you who are not within it, because it is complete. Trust me, real talk, for real, it is. But that's for you to learn, and may Allah guide us all continuously. I mean, as Muslims, to stay upon it. But basically, back to the point. Finishing up. It's 28 minutes in, and I'm gonna finish this up hopefully by the 30. So I'm gonna let her go ahead and speak, and maybe 5 more minutes, inshallah.
I'm not making it up, nor have I been following conspiracy theorists. I'm using the words of the World Economic Forum. And first of all, before I quickly share that, I want to double check with you. Are you still awake? Are you focusing? Are you taking things in? Let me also know, have you actually learned something so far? Maybe you were unaware of it. Please let me know, and we'll go right back. Yes, on fire, Africa Business Jumpstarters. Because it will impact Africa in a major way, and each one of us, no matter where in the world we reside. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. Are we also doing okay for those of you on YouTube? Give us a big yes on YouTube Live. All right, so now listen to this. For those of us who believe we will go back to our old beautiful life, they call it a fiction. It will not happen. Okay? So there are four main constructs. If you read, and I've really, as I said, I followed, I read, I listened, I watched, and there are four reoccurring themes. And I will say a little bit more about them in a minute.
Now she has in the screen the images that are posted as four different frames, and in each frame is one is a globe that's in the grass, and that signifies agriculture, global agriculture, or agriculture. If you that's short that they use now, especially for terms when it comes to business, agribusiness, meaning agricultural business. And then you have on well, I say on the right of it is there's a globe, but a more like digital, like virtual reality looking like globe, and people's hands, and like you know how you got those virtual reality screens and the a new form of screens that you can actually touch and move around. The technology. So I guess that's the symbolism of technology. You know, as it going globally, like blockchain. Yeah, note. Okay, and then you got Genesis, and you got people trying to come up, and you know, there's rumors of quantum uh, uh, technology as well. So anyway, we'll find out what it is going to be into the future. 5G, you know. But then down in the bottom under that is shows a picture of, and then, you know, they show an African child pretty much, and you know, famine looking like, or bad environment where it's unclean and stuff like that, meaning poverty, hardcore poverty. So then on the other part on the left is showing uh, a robotic person, like AI intelligence, artificial intelligence, um, robots, droids, androids, if you want to call them. I don't know if they have that yet. Clones, all of that is in one. You know what I'm saying? Technological or biotechnology. You know what I'm saying? Nanomites, nanotechnology. Bang. Let's wake up.
One of the most important themes that is being mentioned in the context of the Great Reset is a worldwide green economy.
Hold on for a second.
Basically, they're saying that we have been producing, consuming, and it harms our globe, our environment, and it also harms us as human beings, because most of us in the Western world are not really happy or fulfilled. We've become robots of consumerism. Now, the framework of the Great Reset is that everything will change in regards to how we produce and how we consume. It needs to be done in a sustainable way. And now listen, and I hope you can see how crucial it is to understand that.
Yes.
If you are planning now a business in Africa, or you are planning to invest, if that is the new narrative, a green economy globally, then it means that we have to set up businesses that will be prepared and operate within that new narrative. And I believe.
Now you hear that? That's another thing. It's all good when the people are going to establish themselves and position themselves to being a business person, entrepreneur, entrepreneurship, if you want to call it. and you go ahead. But you got to be mindful of what's going on in the world, because you don't want to just establish a business just for the fact that you just limiting it to your nation or your you know specific the area that you live in, the country you live in. You want to be able to go on a global level. You really should want to go on a global level. And being an African descendant, that's clear, because we are in the lands we are as diasporans, and we're trying to get back there, and establish stuff, because that's a rich land. That's a land of so many contents of what that we need as the human beings that have been going there on a regular, and almost literally raping the resources and the likes of the things from the land right in front of the people, and the rulerships who are allowing it. And alhamdulillah, some of them are coming to realizing they got to stop. This stuff has to stop. But that's a whole nother story. But for us, we have to, and those of us who are not returning, like I said, everybody has their own situation, like I mentioned in the other videos, and I don't put nobody down too much on the sense of, okay, you're not trying to make hijrah or you're not trying to leave. It's only if you actually haven't tried to leave because of due to your, you know, financial needs and your wants and what you're used to. Because this is the reason why you feel you don't need to leave. And then you might utilize some other fatawa. I don't know. Some of us, we're fatawa shoppers, and that it suits us. Okay, boom. And then don't get me wrong. I don't want you to feel some type of way of what I'm saying. I want you to, well, actually I do, but not some type of way that is not inspirational. Get that right. I don't want to be like I'm insulting anybody, but I'm not speaking to anybody particular. I don't know who is listening, who wants to take what I'm saying, but take it for yourself as a benefit of inspiration, not, oh man, who he think he is. He don't know my situation. I don't. I don't know everybody's situation. I only maybe the closest brothers and sisters to me that I'm, in the circle of the people that I know as my close friends and companions, my wife, close companions, and that they're maybe going through what they have to go through and being here. And some of them coming back because that they have made the hijrah or attempted to make the hijrah, or just was going as an expat, because that's another story, and then comes back here, and they have to come back here. Everybody has their own situation, so I don't judge anybody. But you know what it is, and you know what Allah says in His Messenger. Let's get that and keep that real 100. We know. You know what I'm saying? We could try to maneuver around and get around what it is, and try to deny we're not complacent. But we gotta check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. Remember that, right? Because when the time comes, we're going to be questioned. We already know in the grave is where it starts. And then in the day of Yom Qiyamah, the hereafter, the day of judgment, day of reckoning, we're gonna be questioned first and foremost. And it's gonna be on our plate. It's gonna be on our scale, the things that we've done and the deeds and all of this. And they're gonna be weighed. But we're gonna be questioned. Because Allah is al-alim. He's al-alim. So He knows all what it is. He's all knowing. He knows what it is. He knows what you're doing, why you're doing it, why you didn't do it, what we're doing, why we didn't do it. I'm saying we, because I got to get it real. I'm included, like I said. you know, and we just gotta get better, people. We got to get better. But I've gone into 38 and it's 39 right now, so I'm gonna stop right here, and then we're gonna jump back into another video because, like I said, this is a very, very uh, you know, deep and significant and real important information and knowledge to know. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you take heed to it and it benefits you, inshallah. And just keep on going with me. Stay with me, brothers and sisters and family, and all of you out there. Let's get ready. Let's get ready. All right. Over and out. Assalamu alaikum.